Are you ready for more independence as a financial advisor? Are you ready for more growth and control over your future? The Independent Registered Investment Advisor, or RIA, model might be right for you. There are many paths to independence, and Schwab Advisor Services has helped thousands of advisors make the move with confidence. From defining your vision to successfully transitioning your clients, Schwab helps you build your roadmap to independence. To find your path, start with Schwab Advisor Services at advisorservices.schwab.com/paths today.
Welcome to Astronomy Daily, your daily dose of space and astronomy news. I'm Anna, and today we have a busy show covering some of the most exciting developments in space exploration and astronomy. We'll be diving into multiple stories about spacecraft launches, or rather, launch postponements, as both SpaceX and Europe's space program faced some challenging moments. We'll explore what these delays mean for their respective space programs and the future of space exploration. We also have some truly remarkable news from the lunar surface, where Firefly Aerospace's Blue Ghost lander has captured breathtaking images of its first lunar sunrise. This historic achievement marks another significant step in private companies' involvement in lunar exploration. Plus, we'll look skyward as we discuss an upcoming celestial event that astronomers have been eagerly anticipating: the potential explosion of what's known as the Blaze Star in our night sky. I'll tell you exactly where and when to look to catch this rare astronomical phenomenon. Stay with me as we journey through today's fascinating space news and discoveries. We have a lot to cover, and I can't wait to share these stories with you. So, let's get started with a bunch of high-profile launch delays. SpaceX called off the latest test flight of its mammoth Starship rocket just moments before its scheduled launch on Monday. The company cited an unspecified technical issue with the spacecraft, marking another delay in the development of what remains the world's largest and most powerful rocket. The launch was set to be Starship's 8th orbital test flight, and anticipation was high following the dramatic mid-air explosion over the Caribbean during its previous attempt. SpaceX has indicated they're working to determine the next best opportunity to fly, with initial estimates suggesting a delay of around 24 hours. Standing at an impressive 403 feet tall, that's about 100 feet taller than the Statue of Liberty, Starship represents a crucial piece in both SpaceX's Mars colonization ambitions and NASA's Artemis program for returning humans to the moon. The spacecraft has undergone numerous upgrades since its last flight, with SpaceX implementing improvements to enhance its reliability and performance. One of the most interesting aspects of this upcoming mission is the planned attempt to catch the booster stage using the launch tower's chopstick arms, a feat SpaceX has successfully achieved twice before. The mission plan also includes deploying Starlink satellite simulators, though these are designed to burn up during atmospheric re-entry. The challenges facing Starship's development are significant, particularly when it comes to achieving full reusability. Elon Musk recently highlighted that the toughest problem they're tackling is perfecting the orbital heat shield, a critical component that's never been fully solved for a fully reusable spacecraft of this size. While SpaceX believes they're close to achieving rapid reusability of the booster, their ultimate goal is to make the entire stack, both the rocket and booster, fully reusable by next year. This capability is essential for SpaceX's broader ambitions, as they'll need to demonstrate complex in-orbit refueling using other starships as fuel tankers to enable long-distance space travel. The Federal Aviation Administration is closely monitoring these developments, having only recently cleared Starship to return to flight while still finalizing its review of SpaceX's previous mission investigation. This careful oversight reflects the balance between pushing technological boundaries and ensuring safety in spaceflight operations. Next, yet another delay. In a significant setback for European space capabilities, the inaugural commercial mission of Europe's new Ariane 6 rocket was postponed just minutes before its scheduled launch on Monday. The culprit? A dysfunctional valve discovered in one of the launcher's refueling pipes. This delay comes at a particularly sensitive time for European space independence. With Russia's Soyuz rockets no longer available since the Ukraine invasion and the retirement of the trusted Ariane 5 in 2023, Europe has been struggling to maintain its autonomous access to space. The mission carried extra weight beyond its literal payload, a French military satellite destined for an 800-kilometer orbit. It was meant to demonstrate Europe's renewed capability to launch critical payloads independently, a concern that's grown more pressing amid recent geopolitical shifts. European Space Agency officials emphasized the strategic importance of this launch, with Space Transportation Director Tony Tolker-Nielsen stating that Europe must ensure its own security in space. The mission has taken on even greater significance given recent international developments that have prompted European nations to strengthen their independent capabilities. The payload itself, the CSO-3 satellite, was intended to complete a network of 3 French military imaging satellites. These sophisticated orbital cameras are designed to capture both visible and infrared imagery globally, capabilities crucial for military operations and strategic autonomy. While the immediate technical issue may be relatively straightforward, this delay underscores the broader challenges Europe faces in maintaining competitive space launch capabilities. The European space industry continues to grapple with increasing competition, particularly from SpaceX, while trying to secure its position as an independent space power. A new launch date hasn't been announced yet, but mission controllers remain confident about resolving the valve issue. As one official noted, this is a reminder that in the space industry, safety and reliability must always take precedence over schedule. And in more delay news, NASA's twin missions SphereX and PUNCH are facing another delay in their journey to space, with the launch now scheduled for Thursday, March 6th at 10:09 p.m. Eastern Time. This marks the 4th postponement for these ambitious scientific missions, which will share a ride to space aboard a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket from Vandenberg Space Force Base in California. The SphereX telescope represents a fascinating approach to studying our universe. Think of it as a wider-angle version of the James Webb Space Telescope, designed to capture broad infrared views of space. This unique perspective will help astronomers better understand the early universe and study the presence of water ice and organic molecules throughout space. Meanwhile, PUNCH isn't just one satellite, but a constellation of 4 working together. These specialized observers will focus on our own star, studying phenomena like coronal mass ejections and the solar wind. This research is particularly important because these solar events can significantly impact our technology on Earth, potentially causing radio blackouts and disrupting satellite communications. NASA's decision to pair these missions on a single launch vehicle showcases a smart approach to maximizing resources. By sharing a ride to space, these 2 very different scientific missions help reduce costs and launch vehicle requirements, demonstrating how modern space exploration can be both ambitious and efficient. The space agency reports that the latest delay is needed for additional checkouts and processing of the Falcon 9 rocket. While such delays can be frustrating, they reflect the careful attention to detail required for successful space missions. After all, when you're sending sophisticated scientific instruments worth millions of dollars into space, it's better to be safe than sorry. Let's move on to a much more positive story. This is truly good news. In an exciting development for lunar exploration, Firefly Aerospace's Blue Ghost lander has successfully touched down near Mons-Lettre in the Mare Crisium region of the Moon. The landing, which took place on Sunday, marks another significant achievement in what's becoming an increasingly busy season for lunar missions. The spacecraft didn't waste any time getting to work. Within hours of landing, Blue Ghost captured a breathtaking image of its first lunar sunrise. The photo shows the intense brightness of the sun contrasting dramatically with the shadowed craters of the lunar surface, giving us a stunning new perspective of what dawn looks like on our celestial neighbor. This mission carries 10 NASA science payloads, and I'm happy to report that many of these instruments are already up and running. Over the next 2 weeks, these tools will be studying everything from the moon's composition and geology to its heat flow patterns and space weather conditions. One particularly interesting experiment will even examine how lunar dust behaves at sunset, using specialized cameras to capture the mysterious way it levitates above the surface. The successful landing comes after a 46-day journey that began with a January 15th launch aboard a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. For Firefly Aerospace, this represents a major milestone. Their CEO, Jason Kim, expressed the company's enthusiasm, noting that this achievement demonstrates their ability to provide reliable and affordable access to the moon. You could say he looked like a proud new dad when making the announcement. This mission is part of NASA's Commercial Lunar Payload Services program, which partners with private companies to deliver scientific instruments to the lunar surface. It's fascinating to see how these commercial partnerships are helping to pave the way for a sustained presence on the moon, supporting NASA's broader Artemis program goals. Looking ahead, Blue Ghost will continue its scientific operations until the lunar night arrives in about 2 weeks. While this marks the end of its primary mission, the data it collects during this time will contribute significantly to our understanding of the moon and help prepare for future lunar expeditions. Stargazers, here's something truly special to keep an eye on. T. Coronae Borealis, affectionately known as the Blaze Star, is preparing for a rare and dramatic performance in our night sky. This fascinating star, located about 3,000 light-years away in the Corona Borealis constellation, is expected to undergo a spectacular transformation that only happens once every 80 years. Earlier predictions suggested this cosmic show would happen between April and September of 2024, but the star seems to be taking its time, which is actually good news for observers. As we move through March, viewing conditions are becoming increasingly favorable as Corona Borealis rises earlier in the evening sky. If you want to catch this extraordinary event, here's how to find it. Look for the star about 4 hours after sunset in the eastern sky. It's helpfully positioned between two of our brightest stellar landmarks, Vega and Arcturus. Start with the Big Dipper, follow its handle's arc to the orange-tinted Arcturus, then look for the delicate semicircle of Corona Borealis between there and the brilliant blue-white Vega. What makes this star so special is that it's actually a binary system where a white dwarf star is stealing material from its red giant companion. When enough material builds up, it triggers a thermonuclear explosion that causes the star to brighten by more than 1,000 times. During this event, it will jump from being invisible to the naked eye to rivaling Polaris in brightness. The dimming we observed during 2023 suggests this explosive brightening could happen at any time. When it does, we'll have about a week to observe it before it fades back into obscurity. While it won't exactly light up the entire night sky, it will create the remarkable illusion of a new star appearing where none was visible before. Now is the perfect time to familiarize yourself with its location in the night sky. After all, once this celestial fireworks show begins, you won't want to miss it. The next performance won't be until around 2105. Finally today, harking back to our previous story. For space enthusiasts and model builders alike, there's an exciting new way to bring a piece of lunar exploration home. Firefly Aerospace has just released a detailed building block set of their Blue Ghost lunar lander, perfectly timed with their successful moon landing mission. The model, created in partnership with Business Bricks, is a meticulously designed 1/18 scale replica that's already made appearances in Firefly's own mission control. In fact, during quieter moments of the recent lunar mission, team members were spotted assembling these very models between their mission duties. What makes this kit particularly special is its attention to scientific detail. The model includes accurate representations of several key NASA instruments that are currently operating on the lunar surface. There's the Lexi instrument for studying solar wind interactions, the Lunar navigation receiver, and even the NGLR retroreflector for measuring Earth-Moon distances. The kit doesn't skip on engineering details either. Builders can assemble everything from the X-band antenna and solar panels to the reaction control system thrusters and shock-absorbing landing legs. It's essentially a miniature engineering lesson in a box. There's even a fun hidden detail that space enthusiasts might appreciate. Though the model doesn't include it, the actual Blue Ghost lander carries a small image of a rubber duck, nicknamed Duckner, under its antenna, serving as both a mascot and a material science experiment in the harsh environment of space. Available for just under $55, this building block set offers more than just a display piece. It's a hands-on way to understand the complexity of lunar exploration and the engineering behind successful moon landings. With Firefly planning more lunar missions in the future, this first Mission 1 model could be the beginning of an educational collection that grows with each new lunar venture. I'll include a link in the show notes in case you're interested in getting one. And that brings this episode to a close. What an incredible show we've had today, covering everything from dramatic launch postponements to historic lunar landings, and even a building set that lets you recreate space exploration at home. From SpaceX's Starship to Blue Ghost's lunar sunrise, We've truly seen how space exploration continues to push boundaries and capture imaginations worldwide. Before we wrap up, I want to remind you that space news never stops, and neither do we. For the latest updates on all these developing stories and more, head over to astronomydaily.io. There you can sign up for our free curated daily newsletter, ensuring you never miss a beat in the fast-moving world of space exploration. Our website features a constantly updating newsfeed that keeps you informed about everything happening beyond our atmosphere. This has been Anna with Astronomy Daily. Until next time, keep looking up and stay curious about the cosmos.